Well, Eric Ten Hag is going to hate to name the starting 11 of Man United, though he's not going to be onto the bench of Manchester United. He is going to hate to name it, and Luke Shaw and Kobbie Maino start in the fixture of United versus Everton. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment, and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Remember, we want to hit 17,000 subscribers, right? So continue to obviously put in the shift by obviously continuing to put up the show. Now, the Muslim is Barakallahu Fikum, and let's get straight into the starting 11 of Man United that Eric Ten Hag is going to hate to name to face the side of Everton. Andre Onana, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Anton Martial, Rashford, Garnacho, Diego Dallo, Luke Shaw, Kobbie Maino, and Scott McTominay. That is the starting 11 of Manchester United. And when we go to the bench, Ben Dayer, Rafael Varane, Sergio Reguilon, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Amrabat, Hannibal, Facundo Pellistri, Donny van de Beek, and Hegel. That means Anthony and Rasmus Højlund are not part of this team that is obviously going to take on the side of Everton at the Goodson Park. That is the starting 11 of Man United. And if we are to go to the other team of Everton, we are having Pickford, Young, Tarkowski, Brentwaite. He's one of those players that has been linked to Man United. Mielenko, Idrissa Gueye Ghana, former at Man United, Dokore, Harrison, McNeil, Calvert-Lewin. The substitutes include Virginia, Coleman, Godfrey, Danjuma, Chemiti, Patterson, Ken, Hunt, and Dobbin. That is the starting 11 of Everton, and the substitutes that I'm going to hate to read for you here onto the United Matters channel. So you now know exactly how this team is obviously going to stand to face the side of Everton. So let's see close to how many likes. 100 likes match in this video as we get into this game of football here. Now, how are we obviously going to line up as far as the system is really concerned for the club of Manchester United? When you look at the lineup and the system, it's a 4-2-3-1. It's always a constant. And we're having Andre Onana in goal. It's a blessing that we have him in between the stitches because he really got an injury during the international break at the Cameroon national team. And he obviously fled back to Manchester United. And when he fled back, the rest was history. He has been training well with the club of Man United. And some people are really trying to insinuate that maybe he was faking an injury such that he obviously gets to come in through and do the needful, because by the time he obviously went off the pitch, I think Cameroon was leading by 2-0, and he said he's really injured. So I cannot really approve those allegations, but all I can confirm to you is that he is fully fit and ready to go. That is none other than Andre Onana into this team of Manchester United. Then when we go to the right back, it's going to be Diego Dallo. By the way, I'm really surprised that it's Diego Dallo, because with Aaron Wan-Bissaka fit and how Eric Ten Hag really likes Aaron Wan-Bissaka sometimes, especially to play into the right back position because of his defensive skills, I'm surprised that Dallo is going to hit to come in through and obviously started ahead of him. Is it because that he wants to play Aaron Wan-Bissaka as a right back as we take on the side of Galatasaray in the midweek? God knows, but Dallo's gonna hate to start. Remember, Dallo has been really exquisite in this season and is one of those players that I've gonna hate not to obviously late the club of Manchester United down each and every time he's needed to be doing something needful. Then the left back, it's gonna be Luke Shaw. Remember, he last played the game of Tottenham Hotspur, the second game of the season in the Premier League. And now he is obviously back and running to obviously put us to where we deserve to be as a club of Manchester United. And let no one lie to you that he's not fit. He's physically fit and ready to go, and he's up and running for the club of Manchester United. And no one is stopping us from obviously taking this game to where we deserve it to be. And Luke Shaw comes in through. It's a very huge addition. And for Eric Ten Hag to put him at the left back, yet we anticipate that's going to play the central defense, is really a very sounding message that maybe even in the midweek, he's going to play him as the left back. But for that, I really doubt, And the central defense, right-sided center back, it's going to be Victor Lindelof starting in there for you. And then the left-sided center back is going to be Harry Maguire. As you really see it up there, it's really one of the central defense partnership that went ahead to give us a lot of tears with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But when you're playing against a team like Everton, if you're having Lindelof and Harry Maguire and they cannot obviously give you a win and really lead your team to winning, then they don't deserve to be players at the club of Manchester United. They deserve to be playing elsewhere, not at Manchester United. So I'm really 100% sure that they can obviously defend this side. Even when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was here, we used to beat Everton with this central defense. So I think we can obviously perform a better job. Now, huge news is that Kobbie Maino is going to start into the double pivot alongside Scott McTominay. Now, I never saw this coming. That is it. But when I read this story yesterday night, I really got to know that the double pivot of United is going to consist of Scott McTominay and Kobbie Maino, because Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to show us that he doesn't trust Amrabat. That is it. And after reading this starting 11, I'm obviously going to really relate to Amrabat and other players that Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to drop, and dropping them has gone ahead to really get us going into discussions of whether he has favorites or not. And I don't think this manager has favorites, but he has gone ahead to put Kobbie Maino into this game because he's a press-resistant player. And trust me, every time you're obviously going to getting that ball from the back four, Onana is obviously going to be targeting this man because of his press-resistant skills. And for Amrabat, he really does that, but I don't know what really went wrong with him. And ever since that game of Man City, he has never gotten into the starting 11 of Manchester United. That is it. So Eric Ten Hag knows better as to why he's not playing Amrabat, and those might be signals that maybe he's not even willing to give him a permanent deal at the club of Manchester United. For Scott McTominay, he's not all that kind of player that will give you what a number 8 gives you, but all you know is that he'll help you, especially into the final third, when you put in crosses and he finds himself in proper positions of really scoring in goals. That is Scott McTominay for you. But he'll even give you the hard work into the central midfield, because Everton has gone ahead to bring in players that are really, really physical. Marcus Rashford, as expected, has been played as a right attacking midfielder. That is Marcus Rashford for you. And Anthony is off the bench and he has a muscular injury. To me, this is really good. Even though we're going to play Galatasaray and Rashford is going to be out, but I would rather play without Anthony, because Anthony costs us a lot. And I think he needs to obviously be there and maybe solve his problems and really get back to the player that he deserves to be at the club of Manchester United. But as you know, he's really one of those players that have gone ahead to obviously coming through and put in a lesser shift than we expected him to be looking at. He came in with a bang, scored against Arsenal, but ever since then, the rest is history. But for Marcus Rashford playing on that side is really great. Garnacho on the left attacking side of the midfield is really another huge call by Eric Ten Hag. And it will be noticed that Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to obviously put Garnacho into his starting 11 for the last 4 games. And in the club's history, Garnacho has gone ahead to obviously start 4 consecutive games for the club of Manchester United. And I think that's really a very huge call for the club of Manchester United. And I would love to see Garnacho and Marcus Rashford interchange these wings. This is what I want to see. Rashford switch to the side and then Garnacho switch to the right. That's what I want to see, because if you're having that dynamism into your wingers, that really causes a lot of havoc to the defenders and fullbacks, because they'll never anticipate or know what is obviously going to befell them. So that's why I want to see on the field. Bruno Fernandes, the captain of the club, is really one of those that I'm going to hit obviously show up and is here to obviously lead the line for the club of Manchester United. And what a way to go with Bruno Fernandes Borges as the player to play as a central attacking midfielder. And all we're calling for him is composure, right? And really looking in for the right pass to either release Anton Martial, Garnacho, or Marcus Rashford. Now, after that, guess who's leading the line? It's none other than Anton Martial. Now, Anton Martial leading the line of Man United gives me positivity, especially when he's playing alongside Garnacho and Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. Especially Bruno and Rashford. These are players that have been playing with Anton Martial for a very, very long time. For Rashford, he has been playing with Anton Martial since 2016. So that's why you sort of eat that when they're playing together. You sort of eat that chemistry happens. They can read each other like a book. And even Bruno Fernandes, he is really that kind of person that can really read the runs of Anton Martial very, very well. And I anticipate that maybe chemistry is going to happen. That is it. I anticipate huge chemistry to happen in between these players because they know themselves a lot. And I really anticipate that Rashford is going to be on the score sheet today because Martial is a very good striker who puts in what we call a very good holder play. And when he puts in a very good holder play, stuff really happens. Now, let's go a little bit to the starting 11 of Everton. Now, Everton are really having Jem Pickford in goal. They've gone ahead to play a system of 4-4-1, 4 central defenders, 4 midfielders, 1 attacking midfielder, and 1 centre forward. And to me, it's like a 4-5-1. Pickford in goal. Ashley Young, former at Man United, and he was once the captain of Man United, playing as a right back for the club of Man United, meaning that Garnacho is going to be facing Ashley Young, and Garnacho should be having a very good day of this 36-year-old plus player in there. And Garnacho has to obviously give him a hard day of his life. Mielenko is another one, left back, and he's going to be facing Marcus Rashford, of which I believe that Marcus Rashford should have a very good day against him. Then Tarkowski, central defense on the right side of the central defense. Then Braithwaite on the left side of the central defense, being linked to Man United, comes in through to face us today, and he has all what it takes to prove to us that he's really a very good guy. That is it. So we go to Harrison, right winger. James Garner at Man United, we sold him last summer, but won to Everton, playing alongside Idrissa Gueye and McNeil. So I would love to think that even Doucouré is going to be playing here, and it's going to be a 4-5-1 with Calvert-Lewin leading this line. Now, we have to be very observant when it comes to McNeil. You know, McNeil will be putting in crosses, targeting Calvert-Lewin, and we need to be at our best to defend such attacks coming in from the side of Everton. They're obviously going to go long, and they're going to hit us on the break. That is it. And their style of play is really known. They're going to park the bus, hit us on the break, get set pieces, and really get. And if at all we are to concede, I predict we are obviously going to concede in a set piece. And we need to be at our best if at all we are to defend all this. But when you're playing against Everton, you have to really understand that it's a team that has not gone ahead to obviously lose a game in the previous 3 games we're going to hate to play, and they will be really wanting to make how many results of no defeat? 4 results of no defeat in a row. That's what they're obviously going to be looking at as a side of Everton. But I would like to hint about something that you guys need to know about Rafael Varane. It's not that Rafael Varane has gone ahead to really have a problem with Erik ten Hag. The fact is, Rafael Varane has not gone ahead to impress Erik ten Hag. That is it. Because, look, Amrabat, a player that was signed by Erik ten Hag, has not started in the previous, I think, 4 games for the club of Manchester United. Now, Why don't they also front that? Because Amrabat is the best CDM we are having fit. Casemiro is injured, he's not here to be seen. And Amrabat is the only fit player that you're having at the club of Man United. And he's better than Kobbie Maino, is better than Scott McTominay. But why is it that he's on the bench? So he's on the bench because he has not been able to convince the manager, Erik ten Hag, that he's good to go at the club of Manchester United. That's the reason. Let's stop shredding shit that this manager is really favoring certain players. No favoritism. And even the player that we thought he'll never obviously bench, that is none other than Anthony. This manager is going to hate to obviously show him that no one is untouchable at the club of Manchester United, and he has gone ahead to touch on his head. And for the previous 3-4 games, Anthony has not been in the starting 11 of Manchester United. So that obviously sends you a message that Erik ten Hag has certain levels that he's calling in for certain players to be at. So let's stop spreading such agendas that Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to fall out with Rafael Varane. Why don't they also say that he has gone ahead to fall out with Amrabat? Because Amrabat is the best CDM fit at Manchester United, but he has not been starting the previous games. And we've seen it very well that Erik ten Hag has gone in for Eriksen and Scott McTominay before Eriksen really got injured. And now he has gone in for Kobbie Maino, and Scott McTominay. What does that send to your brain? It sends a message to your brain that maybe something is really right about these players that Erik ten Hag is going to hate to bench. And why is it that ever since he benched Varane, we are really winning? That is it. So let's obviously come up and really take this with positivity. Let's give the manager the benefit of doubt. So I would love to go into the comment section. Moses Rwaboni, a must-win for Man United. Yeah, it's a must-win for Man United because when you look at the game that's going to have to be played this morning, Aston Villa is leading Tottenham Hotspur at home by 2-1. And Aston Villa is going to be having 28 points. They're going to be placed fourth. And if at all you win, you're going to be having 24 points. And we are going to be placed sixth with 24 points. So meaning that will be 4 points off the top 4. That is really very important and very huge. A final whistle has been blown, and Spurs have lost a third game in a row, and Ange Postecoglou is really mourning. But that's what the game of football really brings, and that really adds more pressure to us to obviously get the win, as we really want it to be as a club of Manchester United. So all what we want is, let's get the win, and after winning, let's obviously sit down and obviously wait for our next fixtures. That is it. And that is Moses Rwaboni. We go to, sorry about that. Opio Ivan, hello Rokani, it's a must-win for Man United, 1-0. Yeah, it's a must-win for the club of Manchester United, and no reason we should give for losing this game, because even the bench, we have quality of it, and have some players that come off the bench and obviously change this beautiful game of football and play it into our favor. That is it. So we have to obviously win. He's calling in for a 1-0 win. That is Opio Ivan. And for a 1 win, I can call in for, because I think we can keep a clean sheet. And we are not going to score very many goals. I'll be shocked if at all we score like 3. The best I think we can score is 2. And I anticipate Everton to really put 1 goal past our goal line. That is to 1. But if at all a 1-0 comes in through, I will obviously welcome it. I will welcome it. Then we are having Olivia Mirembe waiting here. Thank you for watching in. And she's calling in for an Everton win. So thinks that Olivia Mirembe, I think she's not a fan of Man United, and she's calling in for a loss of Manchester United, and she might be one of the rivals. I don't know whether she's a supporter of Everton, but she might be a supporter of Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City. That is it. So all may be a Chelsea fan, because Chelsea went ahead to lose to Newcastle by 4-1, and she feels like all that can be compensated by a loss of Manchester United. My brother coming in from Ghana, that is Thomas Donko. Thank you very much for watching through, Thomas Donko. It's really great to have you onto this channel, and you're calling in for a 2-0 win for the club of Manchester United. So let's wait and see how that happens. But I tell you, Martial leading that line and the chemistry they have in between themselves with Bruno Fernandes and Rashford also gives me a little bit of optimism on the 2-0 win, because we might really be very hard to beat at the side of Everton, and Everton might be going to feel it hard. And if at all you're a fan of Manchester United, that's what you'll obviously call in for and see how things really go, whether in our favor or not in our favor. Then we go to Ebong Alex. I see no win in that lineup, mostly in the midfield. I think the midfield is okay. If you're playing against Everton, that midfield is okay, because they are not a team that are going to use the midfield a lot. They're not going to use it a lot. All what they're going to do is simple. Everton is going to do what we call parking the bus. When they park the bus, they'll obviously wait for that moment to hit us on the break. They're going to play a low block. And Kobbie Maino has the physicality to obviously take on these players. And the reason as to why he has been put in here, it's because of his press resistance, that Erik ten Hag wants to see that ball flowing from the goalkeeper to Kobbie Maino, and Kobbie Maino is going to be used to obviously connect the midfield to the attack. That is it. But it's also really dangerous for a player like him to obviously be played in such a game of a huge magnitude. But Erik ten Hag said, whoever proves to him on training that he's really great and ready to go, he's the player that Erik ten Hag is going to give a go. And Kobbie Maino in this instance is going to hate obviously show the manager that he's good to go, and he has going to hate to give him the green light to come in through and obviously do the needful for the club of Man United. So let's trust the manager and see how that happens, because we are having Amrabat onto the bench, and if at all things don't go on well for Kobbie Maino, then Amrabat will come in through to our rescue. Then Alex Itonge, I think the formation Ten Hag is using today is good compared to the system of Everton, because they have just parked their backline. Yeah, they parked their backline, but they've got to hate to park their midfield more. They've come up with 5 midfielders to face Manchester United. So all what we need to do is, how would we stretch this team? Like spreading that ball to the likes of Alejandro Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, and getting Bruno Fernandes onto the ball a lot. That is going to be another huge task for the people that Erik ten Hag is going to hate to name into this fixture to obviously take on the side of Everton. So, but that has been the system Erik ten Hag is going to hate to deploy most of the times, and we anticipate that magic is going to unfold today at Goodson's Park in favor of Manchester United. Alex Itonge, United win. Then we are having Otafire Wycliffe. You are calling for a 3-1 win for the club of Man United. And I really anticipate that lots of magic is going to unfold today. It has to unfold because we need this win badly. We need this win badly. We need to win, and we need to obviously take up to where we deserve to be. Now, Erik ten Hag has been asked about starting Kobbie Maino, and this is what I was going to hate to say. He's back from injury. It's been a long way, but we prepared him well. He's played a couple of games in the last weeks, and he's ready to play. So Erik ten Hag is confirming to us that Kobbie Maino is ready to play. And I really saw him come back, but Erik ten Hag never really rushed him back on the field of play. He never really rushed him back on the field of play, and he took his time. And having taken his time, now we're here to let you know that the boy is back and ready to take on the side of Everton. And you never know, he might impose himself in that midfield like the likes of Paul Scholes did at a tender age. The other player that instilled himself in the midfield from the academy has been the likes of Darren Fletcher, the likes of there is this other English guy, Nicky Butt, Phil Neville coming in from the academy, imposing themselves into the team of Man United was really something to obviously talk about. And let's wait and see how that pans out. But I can confirm to you that everything is really in the favor of Manchester United, and we should just give these players the support they deserve, and that support will obviously result into us winning. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. That's what we had for you here onto the United Matters channel as far as the game of Man United versus Everton is concerned. I've gone ahead to give you everything. Rasmus Højlund and Anthony are really out, and we don't know whether Rasmus Højlund will be fit to play for the Champions League tie against Galatasaray. But all in all, that will be confirmed on Tuesday, whether he'll be part of the training side. But he has not been scoring Premier League goals, so it's better to rest him a little bit and see today that we must get a forward that can score a goal in the Premier League. Remember, ever since the Premier League started this season, we haven't gotten a striker that's gone ahead to score us a goal. So, may the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, it's raining in my country. So, let's see how it happens and pans out after the full 90 minutes will be played. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.